QQQQQV1K. Today we're going to be going over the installation of the trapeze, and that's from Yolink. And what you're going to end up with is a mouse trap that looks like this. So you use your own mouse trap, and by using the trapeze kit, we're going to put a sensor into here that will sense when the mouse trap has gone off. You'll get a hub with your kit, and that hub will communicate when a mouse is caught. The sensor will communicate to the hub, and the hub will communicate to the internet and will allow your hub to siren, email, talk, or communicate in any way that you want. It can be a cell, text. You can have it speak to you and say, there's a mouse in the trap, that sort of thing. Or there's a mouse in the trap in the north shed, that sort of thing. A lot of variabilities and options there. So we'll be going through the steps, and the first step will be to actually install the Yolink app onto your phone. And then once that app is installed, we're going to add the hub into the app. See, there's a QR code on the bottom, and we'll be using that QR code to install it very easily onto the app. These QR codes make it almost instantly and easy to add the devices and the hubs onto the app. Then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding a sensor, and that sensor will go into this eventually. So we're going to add that sensor also onto the hub. I will see if I can find one here in a minute. So here is the sensor. You can take a little closer look at it. Again, it's got a QR code, but you can see that QR code is on the front of the device, not on the back, whereas on the hub, it's on the back. What's going to happen is you're going to take the cap off here. You're going to put the vibration sensor into there once they're configured. And then you're going to add your mouse trap onto here. And then that should then trigger you in any way that you want. So hope you have fun learning how to do this. It's really quite a fun kit to put together. And then you're learning the beginnings of setting up your own system for adding other devices such as temperature sensing and humidity sensing and alarming when these things go off. You have a wet sensor. They're great. Saved me a few times from major disasters. I put one down by my sump pump, and it all goes into the system, and they all work the same way. So once you've learned how to do this part of adding a mouse trap onto a hub onto the internet, using the app on your phone, you're away to the races. Okay? Hope you have fun, and please like and subscribe, and it would be great if you could do that. Here we go.
First step to install the app on an Android device. You go to the Play Store. You can go to the App Store on an iPhone and do the same thing. We're going to do a search for Yolink app. Don't pick the first one at the top. They're just trying to sell you something. Come down to, at the top there now is the green Y Yolink. So we're going to do, and it's from YoSmart Inc. So make sure you've got that one, and we're going to do an install. Where it says cancel to the right there, it's going to turn to open. Once this is installed, we're going to click on open. There we go. So click open. Allow it to send notifications. And here, if you have a Yolink account already, you will use your username and password to sign in to add this hub. What we're going to do now is to add the account. We're going to, below the sign in, we have a new account. So we're going to assume that this is a new package with a new hub. And we're going to do a sign up. Here you're going to enter your email address and then a username, which is an account on Yolink, and then a password for that account. You should not use the same password as your email. This password is for your Yolink account. So keep it separate and use a strong password with uppercase, lowercase numbers, and some kind of like a number sign, exclamation, or something like that in there. Okay, so I'm going to pause here for a minute and enter all my information, and I'll be right back. So here I am back. I've got fredtest418584@gmail.com. It's a valid Gmail address. And then I've got a new account name that I've given at Yolink. It could be anything, but I've got fredis418584. Then for the password, I've got my password entered. It's not the same password as my Gmail account. That's an important thing. Please use a separate password. So now we're going to do a sign up, and this will be Yolink login. At this point, there's a little bit of a tutorial, but at the bottom right, for now, we can just skip that tutorial. You can look at the tutorial later. So we'll skip it, and then you can see that there's no devices added, which makes sense. So we're going to add the hub. So if you now take the hub, and if you click on, there's just below it where it says 100% at the top there. Below that is a square with a line across it, and that's a scan icon. Okay, so we're going to click on the scan icon, and then it's going to start looking for the QR code on the back of the hub. So let's click on the scan here. You're going to allow it to take a video while it's you might get a chance to see the QR code. I'll show you the, but I'm going to bring it in slowly. This is the back of the hub. Okay, you can see there. And I'm going to be sliding in the QR code shortly. But once it's fully in, it'll just grab it really fast. Okay, there you saw it. So anyways, it's now at this point, that's where you want. And then you're going to say bind device. It's now been bound, and we're going to close it. And now it says, you can see the green arrow you have successfully added, but the device is offline. So now we have to set up Wi-Fi. The hub is actually going to create its own Wi-Fi access point for a few minutes just to get it set up. So what we're going to do now is plug in the hub, brand new hub, ready to go. And we're going to plug the micro USB into it. And we're going to wait for it to come up. And now what we're going to do is, this device is offline. We're going to do a setup Wi-Fi connection. So we're going to click on that arrow to the right. And what it does is tells us to press and hold the set button. So with it now powered up and the power light flashing green, we're going to press and hold for 5 seconds on the set button. There, we're now in Wi-Fi hotspot mode. Let go of the button. And now we're going to go to the above. We're going to do a drop down. In the case of Android, on the Apple, you can do whatever you need to do to connect to the Wi-Fi. Go under settings. So anyways, add to the hotspot. So we're going to do a drop down here, and we're going to long click on the internet at the top there. And we should now see the YS device appear. If you don't see it, what I would recommend is turning the Wi-Fi off and then back on again. Let's try pressing on the set button once, and I will press it, hold it again till it goes back into Wi-Fi mode.
Wi-Fi hotspot mode.
There we go. Now let's wait and see if it shows up this time. There we go. Okay, so here it shows WISE_1684000E944. It can be a little bit to try and get that to connect, but here we go. So let's click on that. And now we're connected from the phone to the hub. And it's probably, I'm using an old phone here, so that's probably the reason. But anyways, we're connected to it now. So what I'm going to do now is come back to this guy here. And we're going to confirm that we have done it, and we'll continue. And we can access location while using the app. I'm going to choose a Wi-Fi. Now, what we're doing now is programming the hub to connect to our network. So what I'm going to do here is choose a Wi-Fi, and it has to be a 2.4. My 5.0 doesn't even show up here, the 5 gig. So you have to go to a 2.4 gigahertz network. I click on the top one, FJIJ-SSID, and I enter the password for that. I'll be back in a second. Okay, and I'm back, and I've entered the Wi-Fi SSID for my network, and also the Wi-Fi password. I clicked on the I with this line through it just to make sure I typed it right. Then I clicked on it again to hide it. And I'm going to do a continue. And it goes through the steps here. And finally, in the end, connects to the network. So to the internet. And on the hub, the internet light is now blue, and the power light flashing green. So we now have our speaker hub, and it's online. And it's actually online with our network in our house or business. So now what I'm going to do is add the vibration sensor. So I'm going to take it, and we're going to basically do the same thing, okay? There's a QR code on the front of it. So have it handy here. And what we're going to do is add device, and then we're going to click on that scan, or actually it came up automatically. So we just hold the device under it. I'll slide it in slowly so you can see there's the vibration sensor, okay? You can see it there. Oh, I almost got the QR code in there because it'll grab it fast. Here I come down quick, and we got it, okay? So that's what you want to see. And then we're going to say bind device. And yeah, it instantly connected to mine. You may find that the device is not online. In that case, just push the set button on the front of the vibration sensor. Near the top right, there's a set button. And you should get the same thing now. This device is online. So I'm going to say done. And in its default, the vibration sensor will clear after 1 minute of not sensing any vibration. So the reason I had just moved it, so we're going to wait for 1 minute until that vibration is detected, goes away. So waiting, and we'll just wait until that goes green. There we go. So no vibration detected. Okay. So what I want to do now, so basically this thing's working. I touch the vibration sensor and it goes to vibration, and then I don't touch it and it goes back. What I'm going to do now is add another feature that's very important for the mousetrap, is the latch feature. Okay, and this is a very cool feature that's been added. And we want to go to settings and then alarm strategies. And what we're going to do is add a new alarm strategy. I'm going to skip the tutorial at the bottom again, click the plus, then new strategy, and I'm just going to call this latched. I'll put it in all uppercase because it's important. I'm going to do a create. So that strategy has now been created. Just created, not set up yet. So what I'm going to do is go into edit, and you can see the alarm latch right below do not disturb is disabled. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to say manual acknowledge. Under that, we've got send email. I don't really, in this case, I'm just going to try it without all the email and all that stuff. So I'll just say none there. So really no other actions other than the application itself, getting a notification, and the latch feature, which I'll show you in a minute here. So I'm going to do a save. Okay, we now have a latch feature. So we have the latch strategy set up. So I come back out to the main screen, click on the vibration sensor, and you can see the alarm strategy is default. We're going to change that to latched. Okay, what that's going to do is now go into latch mode. And there's a special mode that makes it harder to ignore when an alarm goes off. So you don't want a bad mouse sitting in a trap for a long time, getting rotten. So we're going to say, yeah. We've still got the time to enter no vibration state for 1 minute. So I'll just show you here. Let's come back out. And I'm going to tap the vibration sensor. You're going to see that the screen for where it says vibration sensor, that is going to have a red background on it. So are you ready? Here, 1, 2, 3. Touched it, and you can see there's a pop-up vibration detected, but also went reddish on the back end. I'll show you here. I'll close this, and there it's gone to vibration detected in a reddish background, and it's important to note that. So you can see there it went to no vibration detected after 1 minute, so that's gone back to normal, but it's still in latched mode. If you went on vacation and you cleared all your notifications by accident, didn't see the YoLink important one from the mousetrap, then when you look at a certain time, you can go into the YoLink app and just check for any red ones when you get home or whatever and deal with those. So what happens here is to clear that, we're going to click on that icon, the vibration sensor anywhere, and then we're going to click on that red bell at the top. And you can see their alarm has been latched since. So if this thing went on and off and on and off a couple times, you're going to still see the first time it went off. The latch has been latched since. Okay, we're going to do a reset alarm on that. And you can see here, if we confirm it, that everything's back to normal. We go back to the home screen, everything's green. So that's a very handy feature that probably should use with a mousetrap especially, or something like that. Anything like a leak detector, that sort of thing, if you wanted to add that. They're all handy for the latch feature too. So that's totally at your discretion how you want to handle that, but it is programmable. Okay, so another neat feature, I'll go into the speaker hub, and I'm just going to go into enable beep. There it is, enable beep. Okay, oops, get my thingy out of there. Enable that beep, and you can see there that when I touched that, it tested the alarm beep. There's a bunch of stuff that you can do, but we'll get into that a bit later. But congratulations, you now have the electronic components configured and ready to go. And we'll move on to the next step, where we're going to put the trapeze together, putting the vibration sensor into
the adapter and then putting the mousetrap onto the adapter. At that point, you can test it and put it to action. At this point, you should have already installed the hub and the sensor. It should be working properly and tested. At this point, take the adapter and you're going to reach underneath and unlatch it. There's two little latches here. You just put your thumb against it and then that will come out. Then what you're going to do is take the sensor, and it doesn't really matter the orientation, but you're going to stick it in there and it will press fit, push it in all the way. So I'm just going to simply put it back on and latch it from the top. At this point, what you want to do is add the mousetrap. What you're going to do is take the little thin layer on top of the sticky. You want to be careful not to take the sticky part off. You're just taking the thin see-through film off the top, okay? So we're going to roll that off. And now what I'm going to do is take any mousetrap that is a snap trap that'll fit on here, and that's most of them. What I'm going to do is take this, and you can see on here that there's a lug on this side. There's also a nut holder here, and against the lugs is where we're going to place the mousetrap. The mousetrap opens here and the mouse comes in here, okay? So what we're going to do is take that, and we're going to carefully take the lugs. We're going to set this down so it's right in between the two rails and against the lug. We're going to set it carefully, and then we're going to lay it into place. And then we're going to push on it at least 10 seconds until the adhesive has stuck to the trap very well. So you want to make sure that you push it and hold it very well. That's critical. What happens after this is that when the mouse comes in, it will snap, and this will sense that the trap has been snapped. At that point, it will notify the hub, and the hub will send the communication, whether it's the talking, speaking, that there's a mouse in the trap, that sort of thing. You can also have it email you. You can have it on your app. It will notify you through the notifications. You can also send an SMS with the configuration. So that's what we're going to be looking at now, like drones floating around here a bit. So at this point, you should be able to test the system by flipping the trap, and you can put a little stick in here, pretend that is a mouse, flip the trap, and then what you're going to do is once that has fired, you should see your signals on your phone, that sort of thing, as we have tested in the previous video. If you haven't seen the previous video yet, go back to it, because it will teach you how to set the hub up and how to add into the app. So you're going to install the app. You're going to add the hub. You're going to add the sensor. The sensor's in here now. Once they are tested, then you're ready to do this step, which is to put the trap and the sensor onto the adapter. And that really is all there is to getting this system going. Once you have that, you can also add other products onto it from Yoli. You can go to www.usmart.com website, and you can see all the other devices for water sensing and temperature sensing, and a myriad of different devices that you can add to the system. If you already have the hub, then you can add this equipment onto the hub, and you can use this hub in a different spot because they can operate together. And we'll get into that more in other videos, but there's a myriad of different options that you can do with this to make this system. This drone is a great system. You can go for a long distance, quarter mile. So you can push them out in a boat, a shed, a trailer, in a barn, if it's within a quarter mile of the house. So you really have a lot of options available to you. And I hope you have great success with it, as I have.